Did you know that in the mighty old Oyo Empire, when the Àlàáfìn, the king, died, several people were legally required to die with him? And no, not out of guilt or revenge. They were simply obeying an ancient law, a law written in blood. These weren't enemies. They were his closest allies, his family, his spiritual guards, his trusted ones, and they had only 24 hours to join him in death. Why? Because in Oyo, power could not be trusted, and corruption had infected the throne. Let me take you into this chilling history and show you who was required to die and why. First, the Arimo, the crown prince, the king's own son, raised in luxury, groomed to rule, but also the most dangerous. History taught the kingdom that Armos sometimes got impatient. Some plotted to kill the Àlàáfìn just to wear the crown early. So to prevent rebellion, a deadly law was passed. When the king dies, the Arimo must die too. Next, the Ara, Oriite, the king's favorite wife. This wasn't just his companion. She was a political force. Her influence in the palace was powerful. Her words could shift alliances. The Iomasai believed that such a woman, if left alive after the king's death, could alter the course of the empire. So, her fate was sealed. Then came the Àlàáfìn, also known as the Ababaku, the king's horseman. His death wasn't political. It was spiritual. The Ababaku was chosen specifically to accompany the Àlàáfìn into the afterlife. He was meant to serve, protect, and ride beside the king's spirit for eternity. But in life, he was treated like a king. He lived in honor. He wore the finest cloth. He ate at the royal table. But he always knew, if the Àlàáfìn dies, he dies too. Then there was the Iyalamol, the palace's chief priestess. She was the spiritual backbone of the royal court. Her voice guided rituals. Her wisdom shaped decisions. And when the Àlàáfìn died, her duty ended. So, her life ended too. And finally, the Oba, the official mother of the king, not his biological mother, but a chosen queen figure to protect and advise him. She was one of the most respected women in the palace, powerful, strategic, wise. But her influence was dangerous after the Àlàáfìn's death. So she was not spared either. All of these deaths happened swiftly, within 24 hours. Why such a harsh, calculated tradition? It didn't start that way. In the early days of the empire, the passing of a king was mostly symbolic. Some minor spiritual figures would accompany him. Yes, but not this many. So what changed? Corruption. Over time, betrayal grew inside the palace walls. People close to the king began plotting against him. Allies became enemies. Sons turned into assassins. So the Iomasai, the council of 7 powerful chiefs, took action. They believed that if you forced the king's closest allies to die with him, then none would ever dare to betray him. It was controlled by fear, and for years it worked, until one king said no. Àlàáfìn Atíbá. He saw that the empire was bleeding its own blood. He asked, "Why are we punishing loyalty with death?" So he ended it. He abolished the tradition. No more killing the Arimo. No more slaughtering the king's favorite wife. The Ababaku, set free. The priestess and the queen mother, spared. But not everyone was happy. A powerful man rose against him. His name was Kùrunmí, the Kakanfo, the general of the Oyo Empire. Kùrunmí believed that tradition was sacred, and the only thing keeping the kingdom from crumbling. He refused to accept Atíba's changes, and that lit a spark that would grow into fire, a fire that would burn into war. But that is a story for another day. Now, I want to hear from you. If you were chosen as the Arimo, would you accept your fate? Could you live a life of royalty, knowing your end was tied to your father's last breath? Do you think Àlàáfìn Atíbá did the right thing? Or was Kùrunmí trying to protect the heart of the empire? Tell us what you think in the comments. Like this story, share it with someone who loves history, and get ready for part 2. Because next we talk about the war, the Ìjàyè War, where everything changed.